The beep of the heart monitor was the only thing keeping time in that sterile room. A relentless rhythm that mocked the chaos swirling inside me. I hadn't left Sophia's side in 36 hours. My hand wrapped around her tiny fingers, willing her to squeeze back. She was 7, but the tubes and wires made her look so fragile, like a porcelain doll caught in a storm. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting shadows that danced on the walls like ghosts. I whispered to her, my voice barely cutting through the hum. "You're my fighter." Soft. "Mommy's right here." Her chest rose and fell with the ventilator's mechanical sigh. Each breath of victory in this endless war against her failing heart. My phone vibrated on the side table, pulling me from the trance. I glanced at the screen. Lydia Hayes. My mother-in-law, the queen of polished indifference. I answered, keeping my voice low. "Hello." No hello back. Just Lydia's clipped tone, like she was ordering takeout. "Elena, are you still camped out there like some martyr?" In the background, Marcus's voice cut in. My ex-husband. The man who'd once promised forever. "Just let her die. It'll make everything cleaner." The words landed like ice water down my spine. I didn't gasp, didn't yell. I ended the call with a steady thumb, set the phone down, and stared at Sophia's pale face. They weren't talking about her illness. They were talking about erasing the mess. The nurse shuffled in, checking vitals with quiet efficiency. She was young, maybe mid-20s, with kind eyes that avoided mine too long. "Any changes?" I asked, my throat dry. She shook her head. "Stable for now. You should rest." Rest? How? When my own family was plotting my daughter's end to scrub me from the picture. I leaned back in the chair, the vinyl creaking under me. Marcus and Lydia had always seen me as the outsider, the artsy girl from the wrong side of town who'd married into their old money world. But this was a new low, whispered in the shadows while I held vigil. A delivery arrived later that night, wheeled in on a cart by a hesitant orderly. Flowers, white orchids, pristine and cold. The card read, "In loving memory of our sweet Sophia. Rest easy. Grandma Lydia." The nurse's face twisted in horror. She's still here." I nodded, calm on the surface, rage boiling beneath. "They know." I took a photo of the card, tucked it into my phone's hidden folder. Evidence. Not for court yet, but for the fire I felt building inside. I sat there, stroking Sophia's hair, the soft curls matted from sweat. "They think you're gone already, baby. But we're not done fighting." Morning came too soon, the sun slicing through the blinds like a knife. I stepped out for coffee, my legs numb from the chair. 5 minutes. That's all. When I returned, a security guard blocked the door, his badge gleaming under the lights. "Ma'am, I need to see ID and clearance." I blinked. "I'm her mother, Elena Hayes." He checked his tablet, frowning. "Records show guardians as Marcus and Lydia Hayes. Updated this morning." My heart slammed against my ribs. "That's impossible. I've been here every day." He shrugged, apologetic but firm. "System says otherwise. You'll have to speak to admin." I didn't argue. I walked away, the hallway blurring as fury sharpened my focus. In the waiting area, a new plaque caught my eye, shiny brass, engraved with "Thanks to the Hayes Family Foundation for their generous support of the pediatric cardiology unit." The photo beside it, Marcus in a tailored suit, Lydia beaming, Sophia in her arms from a healthier day. "No me." Cropped out like I'd never existed. A couple nearby murmured, "What a wonderful family." I snapped a picture, added it to my folder. They weren't just locking me out, they were rewriting history. Down in admin, I demanded records. The clerk hesitated, then printed a stack. Custody forms altered. My name struck through. Medical decisions now theirs. Financials tied to their foundation, the one I'd built from scratch with my inheritance. Pouring every dime into research for kids like Sophia. Now it bore their stamp, my contributions erased. I thanked her politely, tucked the papers under my arm, and headed home. The apartment felt empty. Echoes of Sophia's laughter haunting the walls. I opened my laptop, started scanning everything. Timestamps, signatures, emails. If they wanted war, I'd arm myself with truth. That night, digging through old boxes, I found a journal from the early days of our marriage. Entries about feeling invisible at family dinners. Lydia's subtle digs. Marcus's indifference. One page stood out, a vow I'd written after a particularly brutal fight. If they ever try to take her from me, I'll make sure the world sees who they really are. I tore it out, added it to the pile. No more whispers. It was time to speak. The gala invitation arrived via email. Sleek and impersonal. Your presence is requested to assist with event coordination. Not as a guest. Not as founder, assist. The Hayes Annual Benefit for Children's Hearts. Their crown jewel. I'd organized it for years. Silent in the background while they took bows. This time, I dressed in red, bold, unapologetic. Heels clicking on marble as I entered the ballroom. Chandeliers twinkling like false stars. Volunteers at check-in handed me a badge. Support staff.
E.
Hayes. I pinned it on. A badge of their underestimation. The room buzzed with champagne toasts and air kisses. Lydia glided by in emerald silk, pausing with a faux smile. Elena.
Dear.
Didn't expect you to show. Need help with the centerpieces? I met her eyes. I'm good. She faltered. Moved on. The program listed speeches. Lydia on legacy. Marcus on vision. No mention of me, the one who'd secured the first grants. As Lydia took the stage, the slideshow played. Images of the unit. Smiling kids. Sophia cropped solo. We dedicate this to the Hayes spirit, she said. Voice honeyed. Applause thundered. I recorded it all. No expression betraying the storm inside. Outside later. The cool air hit like clarity. They built empires on my silence. Time to shatter it. The apartment's silence pressed in like a weight. The kind that settles after a storm, but before the cleanup. I'd collapsed onto the couch after the gala. Badge still pinned to my dress. The red fabric wrinkled from the drive. My phone lay silent, no apologies. No check-ins from Marcus or Lydia. Just the hum of the fridge and the distant siren wail from the street below. I pulled out the journal again, flipping through pages yellowed with time. One entry jumped out, a sketch Sophia had made at 5. Stick figures of us 3, me, her, Marcus. Lydia added later in the margins, her figure towering. Even then, the erasure had started. I booted up my computer. The screen's glow casting blue shadows on the walls. The Hayes Foundation website loaded. Pristine and professional. Under Our Story, paragraphs about Lydia's visionary leadership and Marcus's strategic guidance. My name? Buried in a footnote. Then gone on refresh. I dug deeper. Pulling up old emails, my proposals, my donor pitches, my checks cashed under their umbrella. I called the Foundation's hotline. Voice steady. This is Elena Hayes. Question on donor credits. The rep stuttered. Records show primary attribution to Marcus and Lydia. I funded the seed grant.
Pause.
Let me transfer you. I hung up. No need. From the closet, I dragged out a fireproof box labeled backup. Inside, contracts, receipts, Board minutes. I scanned them one by one. The machines were the only sound breaking the quiet. Each page a brick in my wall against their lies. By dawn, the folder was digital, encrypted, backed up in the cloud. I whispered to the empty room. You stole my work. I'll take back my name. The next day, sunlight filtered through grimy windows as I sipped cold coffee. A notification pinged, shared cloud drive alert. Marcus was still logged in from our old joint account. Curiosity pulled me in. Files upon files, foundation docs, but buried, a chat log. Lydia. Elena's too emotional. We'll phase her out. Marcus. Already updating the BIOS. Clean slate. Leora. Their PR flack. Spin it as family unity. My breath caught. Screenshots flew, timestamps intact. They weren't sloppy, they were surgical. I added it to my growing dossier. Heart pounding not from fear, but resolve. Afternoon brought a knock, delivery. An envelope from Lydia's lawyer, revised will from my late grandmother. The one who'd left seed money for the foundation. Original, to me for pediatric causes. New, to the Hayes family. Forged signature glaring. I photographed it, compared to the real one in my box. Evidence mounting like a tide. Evening fell, and I drove to the hospital unannounced. Security let me through this time. No changes yet. Sophia stirred as I entered. Her eyes fluttering open. Mommy, weak. But there. I held her, the beeps syncing with my pulse. I'm here, sweetie. She clutched my shirt. Don't go. I promised I wouldn't. Leaving. I paused at the nurse's station. Any updates? The shift lead hesitated. Mr. Hayes called. Said to limit visits. I nodded. Added it to my notes. They were tightening the noose. Weeks blurred into a rhythm of vigilance. Mornings, poring over docs. Afternoons, sneaking hospital visits. Nights, building my case. One evening, rummaging for Sophia's old medical files, I found a letter I'd written myself post-divorce. If they erase you, become indelible. It fueled me. I registered a new trust, Sophia's Heartbeat Fund. Simple.
Mine.
No Hayes taint. The turning point came at a board meeting I crashed. Dressed sharp, I walked in mid-presentation. Lydia's eyes widened. Elena, this is private. I smiled. As founder, it's mine too. Marcus shifted. I laid out prints, altered wills, chats, credits. Silence fell heavy. Resign my association, I said. Or this goes public. They blustered, but I left with their signatures. Victory tasted like ash, necessary, but bitter. Back home.
The phone rang.
Unknown number. MS. Hayes, reporter here. Tip on foundation irregularities. I paused, then spoke. Off record for now. The seed planted. That night, holding Sophia's photo, I felt the shift. Not victim. Architect of their fall. Rain pattered against the window like impatient fingers. The storm outside mirroring the one brewing in my chest. I'd just left the lawyer's office. Arlen, a no-nonsense type with a desk cluttered in organized chaos. He reviewed my dossier, nodding slowly. This is solid. Elena. Forgery. Defamation. Custody manipulation. We can file for emergency review. I exhaled. The first real breath in days. And the foundation? He leaned back. Misappropriation. We'll hit them where it hurts, their reputation. Driving home. Wipers slashing the downpour. My mind replayed the courtroom scenarios. Sophia's condition worsening. Me barred while they played saviors. No more. I pulled over. Called the hospital. How's she? Nurse replied softly. Asking for you. Restless. Guilt twisted. I'll be there soon. The apartment greeted me with stale air. I spread files on the table. Audio from that fateful call. Marcus's words crisp. Let her die. Chats plotting my spiral. Alter docs. I organized. Labeled. Prepared. A buzz. Text from Leora. Let's talk. No need for drama. I ignored it. Drama? This was justice. Court day dawned clear. Ironic. I wore gray, neutral. Unbreakable. Arlen met me outside. Briefcase in hand.
Inside.
Wood-paneled solemnity. Lydia in pastels. Marcus avoiding eyes. Their attorney spun. MS. Hayes unstable. Erratic. Submitted nurse quotes. Twisted. Judge listened impassively. Arlen rose. Evidence counters that. Played audio, gasps echoed. Showed forgeries side by side. Visitation logs proving my constancy. A child's drawing. Sophia's family portrait. Me central despite erasures. Murmurs rippled. Their lawyer objected. Judge overruled. Verdict. Guardianship revoked. Rights to me. Sanctions threatened. I didn't cheer. Just nodded. Gravity settling. Outside. Reporters swarmed. I slipped away. Drove to the hospital. Sophia's eyes lit as I entered. Mommy, I hugged her gently. Wires be damned. Won't leave again. That night. Peace fragile but real. But peace shattered next morning. Hospital empty. Sophia transferred. Nurse whispered. Mr. Hayes authorized. Discretion. Rage surged. Arlen. Retaliation. Document. Envelope left. Sophia's teddy. Matted fur. With it. Adjusted visitation. Cold. Contractual. Home. Teddy in lap. Lavender scent evoking memories. Laptop open, cloud drive still shared. New chats. Lydia. Let her break. Marcus. Moved the kid. Watch her implode. Screenshots captured. Folder thickened. Nurse voicemail. Sophia's crying for you. Resolve hardened. No more defense. I filed dissolution. Severed Hayes ties. Registered Sophia's fund anew. Press release. Facts only. Headlines bloomed. Co-founder exits amid allegations. Donors message support. 1. You were the heart. Tears came then. Quiet release. A knock. Nurse with envelope from Sophia. Drawing of us too. Mommy stays. I pressed it to my chest. Promise renewed. The courtroom's fluorescent hum felt like a distant echo now. But the victory's aftertaste lingered, bitter triumph. I'd reclaimed guardianship, but shadows loomed. Lydia's envelope arrived days later. Settlement. NDA. Hush money. I burned it. Flames curling paper to ash. Silence?
No.
I'd amplify. An anonymous tip. Audio file. Lydia in a meeting. Control narrative. Bury her in professionalism. Forwarded to Arlen. He filed ethics complaints. Non-profit probes. My name front and center. Hearing room packed. I testified calmly. Dates. Docs. Truths. Lydia denied. Timestamps refuted. Board member. She exposed the hollow. Verdict. Lydia barred 5 years. Foundation audited. Donors fled. I didn't watch fallout. Drove to Sophia. Read books. Her laughter echoing. Are they gone? Quiet now. Medical authority mine. Fund approved grants. Balcony that night. Coffee steaming. Sky goldening. Empire fallen not with screams, but whispers of truth. Weeks later. Stability fragile. Sophia improved. Her smiles brighter. I sat by her bed. Quilt over us. Reading favorites. Psychologist. Your presence healed her. Nodded. No instability here. Foundation crumbled publicly. Headlines damning. Lydia silent. Marcus absent. Donors shifted to my fund. A letter arrived. From a stranger. Inspired. Your quiet strength changed me. Home. I unpacked old photos. Us before the erase. Sophia home soon. Our life rebuilt. They wanted her death for convenience. I ensured their legacy's demise. What do you do when family buries you alive?
Dig out.
And let them choke on the dirt. The question lingers, is erasure ever truly undone? Or does the scar become the story?